Hi, everybody. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about mortgages, not housing, mortgages. So, funny thing happened on the way to the forum, right? So, back in '06 and '05, we peaked on prices and we were giving anyone that could breathe a mortgage that spelled bad times, right? And led to a recession, led to a housing crash, the whole 9 yards. Well, guess what? So housing's been going up, equity's been there, and lenders have been a little more bold. And so they're offering easier avenues to get loans. At least they were before coronavirus hit. So now that coronavirus has hit, they're really pulling back on that. In fact, there are people that were out there getting loans that were they didn't even have their employment information filled in, or they didn't have their bank statements. And they were still willing to work with them if some of the other things worked out. So then coronavirus hit and they put the skids on that. And so a lot of those loans that were already in the works, they got the kibosh put on them, and some deals fell out. And I know people who had, lost their jobs, and they had already opened escrow, but they weren't able to close because they didn't have their jobs anymore. So those non-qualified mortgage loans really dried up, and they're drying up again now. So in fact, non-qualified mortgages accounted for just 2% of the mortgages in 2019. And in fact, and then, another thing is it's really not many. Some mortgages are in forbearance now. In fact, it's 8.4%, 8.46%. But just think, that means 91% are not in forbearance. And so all we ever do is talk about, the negative stuff. But anyway, so 8.4% are in forbearance. And so, and that's a tricky stat. It's like this one. It says delinquency is defined as at least 30 days past due. Through the end of April, non-qualified mortgage delinquencies were at 20%. But we were incentivized not to pay our mortgage, right? We were told, you don't have to pay your mortgage. In fact, we were told, maybe you should hang on to your cash because we don't know what's going to happen. So there are plenty of people out there who didn't pay their mortgage because they are hoarding money, right? They want to make sure they have cash if, the apocalypse happens right now, which it looks like maybe that's not going to happen, but we'll find out. So the bottom line, though, is that all those stats about mortgages that aren't getting paid, a lot of them are going to get paid. And I think we're going to see a pretty healthy mortgage market on the rebound. Let's see what else I have here. We're past peak unemployment. So everybody's looking at, we are definitely hiring more people, whether we get back to the, exactly where we were or even close to it, which was, by the way, record unemployment, right? So we'll find out. And then now also, even mortgages that are qualified, there's tougher standards. So, you could find a non-qualified mortgage for 4%. Now you're looking at 6%. And remember, those aren't the best rates. Those are for people who are, borderline, who can't qualify through traditional mortgages. Down payments are now 20% minimum, where they were 10% not too long ago. FICO scores have gone from 580 to 680. So there, and cash outs, there used to be a maximum loan to value of 80%. Now it's 70%. So they're tightening up. And they just want to make sure they have good quality loans out there that they can sell in the market, so they continue to provide people with mortgages. So the bottom line is a Freddie Mac 30-year fixed rate 3.18%, and the 15-year fixed rate 2.62%, which is unchanged from a week ago. So the bottom line is things are getting tougher with mortgages, and COVID hasn't helped that. But as our unemployment comes back, as we do more deals, hopefully we will see some loosening again. And I hope it's not too loose, right? I just want it to be so that people who can afford to buy a house can actually buy a house. So there you go. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.